What if I told you that the secrets to America's future lie buried in the ruins of ancient Rome? An empire that once ruled over 60 million people, now reduced to broken columns and silent statues. But behind the collapse of Rome are 5 shocking truths that are still shaping our world today, from government corruption and economic chaos to the slow erosion of freedom. History isn't just about the past, it's a warning. So buckle up. Because what happened to Rome might already be happening again. The collapse didn't happen overnight, it was death by 1,000 cuts. Rome didn't fall in a single day. It crumbled slowly, over centuries. Not from one big war, but from a series of small, ignored problems that added up. Senators prioritized personal power over public good. Sound familiar? In just 75 years, Rome had over 20 emperors. That's like changing your president every 3 years. Through chaos, citizens became numb to the constant crisis. And when trust disappears, society starts to rot from within. Modern parallel? Look around, polarization, misinformation, and political instability aren't just headlines, they're red flags. Like Rome, modern nations often ignore the slow cracks until it's too late. Lesson: empires don't fall because of enemies outside, they collapse from within. Economic decay: when the money loses its meaning at its peak, Rome was an economic powerhouse. But as the empire expanded, its economy started to collapse under its own weight. Massive military campaigns drained the treasury. Government officials lived in luxury while ordinary citizens struggled to survive. Sound familiar? Rome debased its currency, reducing the amount of silver in coins. The result? Inflation skyrocketed. Prices soared. Trust in money vanished. Small farmers were crushed by taxes and debt, while elites avoided paying anything at all. The gap between classes became impossible to ignore. Modern parallel? Today's world is drowning in national debt, rising inflation, and growing inequality. History is whispering, or maybe shouting, but are we listening? Lesson: when money loses value and wealth divides a nation, collapse isn't far behind. The military was powerful, but misused. Rome built one of the greatest armies in human history. It conquered vast lands and defended its borders for centuries. But in the end, even the mighty Roman legions couldn't save the empire. Soldiers started fighting for personal gain, not national pride. Civil wars broke out. Armies were used to settle political scores. Rome began hiring foreign mercenaries, people who fought for money, not loyalty. When things got tough, many of them switched sides, or simply walked away. Instead of peace, there was endless conflict. And eventually, the military couldn't protect a crumbling empire from invaders at the gates. Modern parallel? When a nation prioritizes military power over internal unity. When soldiers serve politics instead of principles. And when defense becomes a business, the cracks begin to show. Lesson: a strong military can't save a weak nation. Loyalty, purpose, and unity matter more than weapons. The loss of core values and national identity. Rome wasn't just a place, it was an idea. Built on discipline, duty, and civic pride. But over time, those values faded into comfort, excess, and apathy. Colosseums filled with blood sport and distraction while streets crumbled. The people were fed bread and circuses, cheap thrills instead of real solutions. Fewer people wanted to serve, vote, or take responsibility. Being Roman used to mean something? Later, it meant very little. What was once considered dishonorable became normal. Corruption wasn't hidden, it was expected. Modern parallel? Scroll through social media. We're flooded with content, but starving for purpose. We chase trends, not truth. Comfort, not character. Lesson: when a nation forgets what it stands for, it won't stand for long. Uncontrolled immigration and weak borders. Contrary to what many believe, Rome wasn't simply invaded, it let outsiders in. At first, it welcomed immigrants, offering refuge and opportunity. But when integration failed, cracks turned into collapse. Millions moved in, fleeing war and famine, but Rome wasn't ready to absorb them. Many newcomers weren't taught Roman values or civic responsibility. They lived on the margins, isolated, and eventually, some turned against the empire. They hoped the problem would fix itself. It didn't. Eventually, groups like the Visigoths didn't just enter Rome, they sacked it. Modern parallel? Today's world faces massive migration, refugee crises, and cultural clashes. Welcoming others is noble, but failing to integrate, support, and unify, that's dangerous. Lesson: it's not about closing borders, it's about protecting identity while managing change. An empire that loses control of who it is loses control, period. Rome didn't fall because of one mistake. It fell because no one stopped the decline. The warnings were there, but they were ignored, laughed off, or silenced. Now, centuries later, the echoes of Rome are louder than ever. The only question is, will we learn from history, or repeat it? If this made you think, hit that like button. If you believe history still matters, subscribe for more eye-opening content. And let me know in the comments. Are we heading toward another fall? Or writing a new chapter?